Hey, my friends, Marc Cunningham at Grace Property Management. Let me share a few thoughts with you around this idea of metrics, KPIs, which stands for Key Performance Indicators. Our industry, the property management industry, is awash with people saying you got to track this, you got to watch out for that metric, you got to track that data, you got to have this KPI, you got to have this. And a lot of it's good and well-intentioned, but it can be overwhelming. I know it can be overwhelming for us. So let me just share a couple quick overview thoughts on things you should be tracking, and even more importantly, why and how to understand these things that you're tracking. So first of all, big picture is this. You need to understand that in any metric you're tracking, there's two different categories. You need to break them into two buckets. Bucket number one is the CEO or the ownership level. You as the owner of the company need to know certain things about your business. And then you have this whole other group of metrics which are kind of position level. This is where most of those KPIs, key performance indicators, those go in bucket number two. That's position level stuff. And yes, someone needs to know that. If your organization's big enough, you wouldn't know that as the CEO level. You wouldn't know how many calls come into your leasing center. You wouldn't know how many open work orders maybe as you get bigger. But we've got to make sure that you're breaking these things into two different buckets and understanding based upon the size you are. Should you be looking at CEO metrics, which is what I'm going to share with you in just a moment, or should you be focused more on the position level? And someone needs to pay attention to both that way. So let me share with you a couple CEO metrics. We're looking at bucket number one. You as the owner of the company, you as the executive, the high level, what are some things that you need to be paying attention to? What are some metrics? These really aren't KPIs. These are some high-level metrics. So for me, I'm the owner of our company. I get two things every month from my VP of operations. I get a P&L, a profit and loss, which shows all of the financial activity, income, expenses, profit, the breakdown every month. I get that P&L. Then the second thing I get is this. I printed it out here. We call this our CEO dashboard. This is 2.5 pages. It's simply an Excel spreadsheet. That's all it is. But it tracks over 40 different metrics that I, within the role of the president or the company or the CEO, need to be paying attention to so that as I'm laying in my hammock on the beach, looking out at the ocean surf, I can look at one thing, actually two, this and my P&L, to know how the business is doing for the next month so that I can take another drink of my pina colada and fall back asleep in my hammock. So let me share with you just 6 of the metrics that I believe every company should be tracking and kind of why they matter. Number one, average rent per door. This is somewhat overlooked, I think, but it's so important because your average rent per door becomes a filter to tell you if the next door you bring on is going to move you forward or is it going to pull you backwards. If your average rent per door is $1,500 and you sign up a new door that's going to be $2,000 in rent, that's good. It's moving your company forward to a higher average rent. If a lead comes in and it's only $900 a month and your average rent is $1,500, I'm not saying don't take it, but know that it's pulling you backwards. So maybe you want to have a different price structure in place for that. But you have to know the trend, and that's the key word in this whole thing I'm talking about. What is the trend of these numbers? None of the numbers in and of themselves mean anything unless you know the trend. So that if I tell you, hey, our average rent per door is $2,000, you'd be like, well, congratulations, or I'm sorry. But if you knew that our prior average rent per door was $1,700 and now it's $2,000, now you'd be excited for me because the trend tells you everything. Second metric, your employee compensation as a percentage of your gross or your total income. Think about it this way. If your company brings in $100,000 a month, total income, everything, you bring $100,000 to your company, you shouldn't be spending more than 50% of that on employee compensation. If you're spending more than 50%, you may have something out of whack. You're not bringing in enough money or you're overstaffed. That's kind of the general rule, and it varies based upon the size of your company, but you really don't want to be spending more than 50. Now, for most companies, actually for all companies in our industry, payroll is going to be your biggest expense. We are a very labor-intensive business, so you need to track that. And it's a simple formula that you can track the percentage of your total income spending on payroll. Again, the trend is important, but make sure that in that number specifically, you want to keep it under 50% ideally, regardless of your size of the company that way. Number 3, doors added, doors lost, and the net change in doors. It drives me crazy that I haven't seen any accounting softwares out there, as good as some of them are, that can track this for us. They can show me how many doors I have right now, but they can't show me how many I brought on last month or the month before that or the quarter before that. They can't show me how many I've lost or how many have left us, but they can show us, of course, the net. Simple Excel spreadsheet for us. But every month, within my role, I want to know right off this doc, how many doors did we bring on last month? How many did we lose? And what is our net door count? Because again, it's the trend that matters. If we're trending up in doors added and flat in doors lost, that's a good thing. Always want to see the trend. Number 4, open work orders. Now, as you can tell, by the way, we're jumping all over the place. These aren't just financial metrics. They're metrics from different random parts of the business. Some financial, some tenant related, some leasing related, and some maintenance related. Why do I want to see how many, Mark, why do you want to see how many open work orders are in your business? Because the trend tells me everything. If I said to you in a conversation, hey, can you believe it? I had 500 open work orders this month. Can you believe that? Again, you would not know whether to congratulate me or to apologize. But if you knew that the month prior and every month prior I had 600, you'd say, well, good job, Mark. You're starting to make some headway on that. So we have to know what was behind us on that. So I want to know how many open work orders, and based upon what we had previously, that will tell me, is this a good trend? Now, maybe you have more open work orders because it's August, it's July, and your turnover season is happening. There's a story behind every one of these metrics, and you need to be able to tell the story to make sure that your company is healthy and heading in the right direction. Now, let me just pause there, and I want to thank the sponsor for this video, Property Meld. We're talking about open work orders. You know, the best way to track your overall maintenance, everything from requests to vendors being sent out, to the average time delay, to vendors getting out there, to the time of getting the invoice, to the whole communication piece, Property Meld. Property Meld is the hands-down go-to software for controlling your maintenance from the intake of the request to sending out of the vendor, confirming you've got the invoice back in. It's like that little pizza tracker you see when you order pizza, you know, and you see like the Domino's, the pizza's in the oven, the pizza's pepperoni's hot, it's ready to be picked up. You can have that with your maintenance and a lot more. Jump on their website, Property Meld. You'll be blown away with just the information that they make available to everybody on propertymeld.com. You can get an idea as to how your metrics are doing as it relates to maintenance. Property Meld, tell them Mark sent you, check them out, you will be glad you did. Okay, where are we at here? Next item you want to be tracking, average doors per owner. It always surprises me that this is not a metric that we talk about a lot in our industry. It's so important because it tells you the strength of your property management company. If you've got 200 doors and you have 200 owners, knowing nothing else about your company, I know you are a strong, healthy company, because if one of those owner clients leaves you tomorrow, doesn't matter. You've still got 199 doors and 199 owners. But if you tell me, Mark, I've got 200 doors and I've got 7 owners, that's a very risky company, because if one of those owner client leaves, they're going to take a big batch of doors with you. So I want to know, on average, how many doors per owner do you have in your company? And you need to track it so that you understand the health. And again, the trend is that your time is your friend telling you information. For us, by the way, as an FYI, our average doors per owner right now, I believe, is 1.7. So we don't have any massive owners that if they left, we would lose a huge part of our business. We've done past videos on big owner clients. Are they good? Are they bad? The pros and cons. I want, ideally, one owner per one door. Takes more time to bring them all on, but it's stability and health of the company. One more I'll share with you, and that is Google reviews. Do you know how many Google reviews you have? Do you know how many Google reviews you had the same quarter of last year? Well, you will from your CEO dashboard. It gives you something to focus on. And then these things taken together, these 40 plus things for us taken together, give us a big perspective overview of the health of the company. It's a way for me to keep my finger on the pulse of the company to see how this is doing. It shouldn't cost you anything to track. You can buy some software if you want, but we don't. Simply an Excel spreadsheet. It takes us maybe 20 minutes a month to collate this data, put it onto here, and get this sent out to me that way. Now, if you want a copy of this, by the way, of ours, become a member of our video coaching group. Video coaching group members, you've already received copies, and we've given you several updates of these as we make them. Somebody was asking me the other day, Mark, I didn't even know you had a video coaching group. Well, we do. We're almost in like year number, I think we just hit year number 5 with that. We'll put a link in there, but if you want access to this kind of stuff, become a member. We'll send this out right away. Every month you get this and much, much more that way. Or if you want to take it even to a deeper level, we just this week opened up registration to our December 2024 Visit Grace event. Come out to my office in December, spend 2 days with me and my team, and we're going to make this really, really focused on year-end planning for the next year. Yes, we're going to talk about metrics. This is one small component of about the 15 different topics that we cover over 2 days in my office on how to run a property management company. Not how to do leasing, not how to rent a property, not how to do that stuff, how to run the business, how to find good team members, how to structure your property management agreement so it provides you maximum protection, how to have a risk overview of your company, how to be profitable in the big picture, how to manage your people, all the things that they don't teach you anywhere else, how to run a successful property management company. Jump on our website, check out a couple of the testimonials. I just want to read this one here. This is a pretty good one. Everybody that's come has said pretty good things about it. Marc and his team literally hand you a business in a box. They give you the foundation of purpose that supports principles, that is framed by processes. Do not come unless you are willing to build something better. Barry. Nathan said, one of the best business investments I've ever made. It brought clarity, direction, and motivation. The positive energy from Marc and his team was awesome. The entire experience delivered an incredible amount of information and value. Thank you, Nathan. Loved having you out there. Check it out. Small group, only 10 people in December. This will help prep and prepare you for the next year if you're interested in that. Hey, how else can we help you? Jump on our website, pmbuild.com. Find out information to anything you're looking at. Look at our video coaching. Check us out in December. Until next time, my friends, as always, I wish you success.